Yo, 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 yo. I'm back with my family. Another episode of the unThreaded show. I'm here with Dodger and Dallas, Leigh, Jesse Hagen. Real quick, guys and women, give us a recap on your week. Mentally, tell us where you are. How's everybody going? Or how's everybody doing? Fast. Come on, we need this fast, really fast. Let's start with you, Jesse. What you got? Really fast.
Man, pretty good week. Harrison finished up one summer camp and transitioned to Taekwondo summer camp. So he's liking that a lot more because he can literally bounce off the walls there. So it's good energy in the house.
That's
right
fire.
Nice. Leigh, how's it going?
It's going well. Been working in the yard, getting some stuff done. Nothing too exciting, but school's about to start, so that'll be good to get back on a regular schedule.
Yard work. I love yard work. Dodger, what's up, Dodger? How's your week been, man?
Y'all already know I've been absent from the group chat, been exhausted. Folks getting hit with COVID heavy out here, bro.
Ooh.
Right now. Heavy right now out here.
Dang, Dodger. Stay safe, man.
Hey,
keep
man,
that immunity. I said immunity. Keep that immune system immune. I can't say that word. Keep that immune system going, man.
Hey, you know I got it.
He's got the Tabasco right there on the shelf. You just take a slug of that
already.
Morning.
I actually do, bro.
How
you
that's
want
a bottle.
Look at that.
Hey, let's go.
Unlike Hillary Clinton, I keep hot sauce. Listen, I'm happy everybody is doing well. This episode, everyone, we're taking it back to the roots, man. And we're talking about basketball.
Hoops.
Basketball. But before we get into that, we have a few minutes for this pop culture moment of the week. Let me see who has something good. I think Ty has something good. He keeps smiling. Ty, what's up, Ty? What's your pop culture moment of the week?
I think my pop culture moment of the week is just Elon and Trump thinking folks were going to go back over to Threads to listen to them ramble.
You mean X?
X,
Twitter. My bad. Not Threads. My bad. We wouldn't do that over here. No. But yeah, that's crazy, right? Like they just held that over on X like it was unbiased or something. It's crazy. I don't even want to meet the person that went back over there for that, but that's my moment of the week.
Okay. Jesse, who do you have?
So because this thread is not going to be a part of our topic today, my pop culture moment of the week was a hilarious Threads only meme that popped up. This kind of con man-esque, I guess screenwriter adjacent was like, hey, if you see Christopher Nolan at Whole Foods, don't worry, go ahead and approach him with your script, and just gave these long bullets of really bad advice. And ever since then, screenwriting Threads has been having a lot of fun with that concept. And I think even, what's his name? James Gunn, I think his name is, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. He got in on it and was threading around, joking around. It was very funny.
Love that.
I love when you talk nerdy, Jesse. I love it. I love it. Leigh, pop culture moment of the week.
Broadly, surprise, it'll be the last one. It's the Olympics, but it's the women of Olympics. They dominated the medal count, which was awesome, but more specifically was BG, Brittany Griner, at getting her medal. That was a huge moment for her, and it felt really good to celebrate that too, in a world where sometimes it always doesn't feel good to celebrate patriotism. So that was really special and really cool to be able to share that with her.
Yeah, man. I'm trying to run
patriotism.
What?
Yeah.
I said I'd be kind of hating patriotism.
Yo, Ty, I was just about to say,
Most
I'm
days,
trying to run.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm trying to run for office and all that, and you gotta pledge allegiance, and you gotta look at the flag and hold your heart and stuff.
They're gonna make you put your hand on the Bible.
You got to run with
Over
under
some government stuff.
You got to run under the Stankonia flag. That's the only acceptable one. That'd be cool.
I don't
bring
know
that
what
back.
is,
Or hear me out.
The
Anarchy.
Oh, there you go. Either the anarchist
You
flag
trying to get me
or Jhamar,
JFK, bro?
the
Hell
Stankonia
no.
flag, the flag on the cover of the Stankonia
Yeah.
album by Outkast. Just like
Y'all
a
gonna
black
see
and
me on
white
the
version.
news, man. I'm good, man. I'm trying to help the people and stay under the radar with this type of hair. I'm just trying to
No, that's for real though.
keep it
That's for
easy.
real though.
But my pop culture moment of the week is none other than Steph freaking Curry, man. I'm not going to say I was a Steph Curry hater, but he definitely changed my mind this Olympics, bro. 17 threes the last two games. Oh man, that was beautiful. And speaking of Stephen Curry, let's get into thread number 1. Which one of you two gentlemen wants to read this thing? I'm going to go with Ty. Come on, Ty.
So the first thread of the week has to do with the basketball Olympic Games. And it's the mayor himself, the one and only, Yo Rush, saying nothing like a Steph Curry shimmy, Olympic style.
Okay. What do you guys think about that? Is there something else in this
I'll let you go
world
first,
like
Leigh.
a Steph Curry shimmy Olympic style? Pause, by the way, because I don't know what Steph Curry shimmy is, but hey, man, listen. I still got smoke with Russ. I still got smoke with Russ from last week, so I'm following that up because he put them 2 laughing emojis under that woman post.
That's right.
So
okay,
good callback. Good callback.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
Haven't watched episode 2, got to catch up now.
Exactly. I still feel something. You see what I did there?
Yeah, that's a
You
good
see what I did there, Dodge?
Go
I'm a
ahead.
pro.
Well
I'm a pro at this content stuff.
Intricate plot line.
Exactly. Jesse, come on, man.
Okay,
What do you think about the thread?
On the matter at hand, I do have a Steph Curry bias. I will go so far as to say that I've been a Steph Curry hater. As y'all know, I am a Timberwolves fan. We very famously did not draft him because we decided to draft Ricky Rubio, whom I love, and Johnny Flynn, who is nowhere near the league anymore. Although if you're watching this, Johnny, no hatred here. Anyway, we have watched Steph go on to have this legendary, unparalleled kind of remaking the entire paradigms of the NBA shift. And I saw a lot of threads around this in addition to Rush's thread that just everybody who was not a Warriors fan, it felt so good and so validating to be able to root for this guy who was just bombing away and just hitting every single one. So when he hit that golden dagger, I felt Rush's words, man, because I was is instantly iconic
what
name.
A name for that.
That's what it felt like, man. It was just like, hell yeah, this is for us. So really, really, really fun moment, legendary moment.
You didn't answer my question though. Is there something else like Steph Curry shimmy Olympic style? Could you name one other thing in this world that's something else close to it? Yes or no?
I think that not at that scale, because I saw another person give a take that was like, this was the most historic basketball shot of all time. Now, I don't know, like you could probably debate that, but like at that scale, everything else is just kind of a pale comparison. Because the only thing that comes to mind that maybe approaches it that I just have a ton of heart for is that like the bowling dude, the bowling legend guy. Yeah, Ty knows what I'm talking about, where he's like, where do you think you are? I am. Like that guy is hilarious. But obviously not nearly as much of like
the legend
societal import as Steph Curry winning the gold medal.
I don't know, man. Those rival each
My
other.
personal development. Yeah, I guess they're equal standing.
Yo, 2016 Game 7 NBA Finals. Steph Curry is guarding someone, and that person hit a shot as well that I thought was bigger than this shot, but hey, exactly. Hey, but you know what I mean? But hey, Dodger, what you think of that thread, man?
I think that's it's funny because this is the one thread that really got me energized this week on the return to show. I know I mentioned it in the group chat. It's because of the run of show. I'm sorry. It's because I couldn't figure out for the life of me why I was not enjoying Olympic basketball. I was like sitting there in the qualifying rounds, and I was watching the games, and I was like, this should be way more fucking fun than it is right now for me. And I was like, I don't know why I'm such a hater. Like, I'm such a hater. And I was trying to, you can even look back on my threads and like watch me over the Olympics trying to figure out by vocalizing what I was feeling, trying to figure out what was going on. And then yesterday I talked to my therapist, and shout out Maxine, and she's a basketball fan. And so she was like, "Did you watch the Olympics?" Like, we were just like in the first like few minutes of like the conversation. She was like, "Did you watch the Olympics?" I was like, "No, really." We talk every 2 weeks, so like the last time we talked, it was just like really getting going. And I was like, I didn't really watch it. I didn't really care to. And she was like, "Why?" And I was like, "I don't know. I genuinely don't know." And she was like, "Do you like the players?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "Do you like the group of players? Would you change the players?" And I was like, "Here you go." Like, and I was like, "Yeah, it would have been fun to watch like Slovenia have a game against the U.S. or to maybe see Kyrie on the U.S. national team." And then we kind of came down to it, and she was like, "Are you a basketball fan or are you a Mavericks fan?" And I was like, damn, that's a deep question, because I think I'm just a Mavericks fan. I think I care more about the success of the Mavericks than I do basketball itself. And that's just kind of the way I was raised.
Did you feel like any
My
pride when
father's
they
the
won?
same way. It felt there was, I can't even say yes, because it wasn't really like a thing where I was like looking for pride to find anyway. There wasn't any pride in it for me anyway. It was more of a thing of like, okay, now that team has to split up and come face my guys. Like that was the
Thinking ahead.
overall feeling at the end of it.
Man,
it was like they forgot about my guys, but like now they
you should
gotta
fire
split
her
up and come
ass.
find my
I could have
guys.
told you that. I could have told you that about yourself. I could have definitely.
Shout out to my incredible insurance to pay for it, so I ain't gotta listen to Jhamar.
It's like, nah. Shout out to Miss Maxine. Is it a woman? Is it a white woman?
Yeah. No, she's Middle Eastern, and she's like 26, bro. What an interesting perspective for me to have.
She practicing
as like a
on
mid
you,
30s
then, huh?
guy. Like as some.
She doing a good job. Okay.
I mean, if it's her practice, she's doing a damn good job, because she navigated me through this shit very well.
Okay.
Like,
okay. So
well.
So this question that we have on the run of the show is something I need to come at Jesse for, because the framing. He put, why is the quality of hoops analysis higher on Threads versus Twitter? I have a question about that. Why do you think is higher on Threads and not on Twitter?
Well, just to, I guess, wiggle my way out of the hot seat here a little bit. This was another thread that was thrown out in the group chat where somebody had threaded, and I wish I knew the handle right now, but somebody had threaded basically that they had noticed the dynamic was different on Threads. I know we talked about it a little bit last show as well, just kind of the refreshing nature of NBA Threads. So I guess in my experience, I would say, though, that I do believe in that statement. And I guess the reason why I think that is not because I don't think it exists on Twitter. Obviously it does. I just think you have to wade through far less bullshit because less trolls have kind of come over. And it's not like Threads is wholly immune. I mean, I had a little fun at Jokic's expense when the U.S. bounced Serbia and kind of made fun of him and did a really trolly post. So it exists out there. I'm just saying, I think like you see people like Doc Thompson get a lot of love from the algorithm and kind of fueled by an initial big burst of engagement from the NBA Threads community, who seems to place an emphasis on valuing real hoops analysis versus the kind of hot takey type of tweets, I suppose, you find more of in Twitter.
Let's speak to the Twitter expert, man. Ty, what's up, man? What do you think?
I think he's right. There's just so much clutter on Twitter. I mean, I know a lot of guys who played ball for a decent amount of time just because of the nature of being an athlete and bumping elbows with those people that are still only on Twitter. And they have a lot of good insight, but there's just so much BS that you have to shovel your way through to get to the people who actually kind of know what they're talking about. Unless it's like woes or shams, like it's not worth it. It's not worth it to me, at least. I'd rather just have those conversations with the people that I know I can trust in a venue that's not filled with bullshit, or at least not to the extent that
you just sparked in my mind, Ty, is that thread that it was specific about the Jason Tatum discourse, which was kind of like, that was interesting because that was obviously part of this Olympics, but the thread was praising how people on Threads had really unpacked that and kind of like added in some nuance and a layered discussion to the Jason Tatum discourse, which I didn't go on Twitter, but I assume was a lot more kind of heated and, again, very kind of one-dimensional type takes.
Thank you for saying that. But I saw, because of Ty, I went back to Twitter this last week. I spent a lot of time on Twitter just to do some random studies and some research. And I just saw some horrible Jason Tatum and Steve Kerr takes on both platforms. And that's why when I saw this on both, bro, when I
Really?
both with an F, 2 Fs. Bro, I swear. And like everyone was just blaming Steve Kerr. All right, do you think the consensus was that everyone was blaming Steve Kerr?
I mean, yeah, he's the person who's deciding who plays and who doesn't at that point. Yeah. I mean, I think
exactly.
that would
and I
be
saw
the
that
obvious
on
consensus.
both platforms. And I just don't think that's fair. I personally, if I was a coach, I probably wouldn't have played Jason Tatum that much either. Just because the style of offense that those teams run over there in Europe, I don't think Jason Tatum is athletic enough to like just keep moving every single second on offense. That's not his, like, I don't know if you have like those fast twitch muscles to just keep moving. That's why someone like Derek White is way better. That's why even Booker is more athletic on defense than Jason Tatum.
Yeah, he had a great Olympics run, man. Booker did.
He had Drew Holiday, so
he really did. That's a guy that I did not really have a ton of respect
for. Continue, Jhamar.
Beforehand.
No, my point was just that I saw those takes on both platforms, so that's when I realized that I don't know if it's about the platform. I think it's just about the community that you garner on these platforms. So that's why when I saw that question, I was like, that's interesting. That's an interesting framing. Yeah. But
interesting.
Todd, this is for you. I have another question. Will the relationships at the Olympics affect NBA rosters in the near future?
I think
explain.
Yes, I think absolutely.
And also explain what you think that question means, because
I think it means to me that like the relationships built at the Olympics do they mean anything as far as players wanting to play together in the NBA? And I think clearly, yes. I think we saw the Miami Heat, the Heatles, come together off of an Olympic run. We saw Carmelo end up with the Knicks off of an Olympic run.
Kyrie and KD
dictate where they want to go. That's true too. They ended up together on the same squad too. That's one I wasn't even thinking about, off of an Olympic run. And those that time together matters. It matters a lot. I think that there are going to be players that come together. I think the contract situation, and especially with the new
what's that, bro? Second apron
in the NBA, I think it's going to be. So salary cap wise, there's a lot of new restrictions if you start spending the way that like the Warriors were spending when they were running their dynasty. You can't just spend like that. You can't just be rich and like pay the luxury tax and there not be a penalty anymore. If you were rich before, you could just pay the extra money and like keep all your players, and it wasn't that big of a deal. There was no real penalty. Now there's stuff where you're like losing cap money,
Can't get a mid-level exception,
draft picks, like yeah. There's very few ways to keep a team together like that now. So I think the ones that we see come together will be maybe ones that we didn't expect. Maybe Bam Adebayo finds his way to Minnesota. I don't hate that idea. Maybe we end up seeing Kevin Durant find his way back to playing with another really good point guard. Kevin Durant has proven that he really thrives in an offense where he doesn't have to handle the ball. I think he'll be looking for another point guard, and there was Halliburton on that team who maybe didn't play a minute, but he played in practice. You know, there's room for Kevin Durant to be able to play with another point guard like that and not absolutely ruin the reputation that people think he already ruined by going to Golden State.
What do you say?
Well, first of all, it's funny you brought up Halliburton, and just to put a bow on that previous question too, Leigh hipped us with the information that was from Rick Boucher, that previous Threads analysis thread. But it's interesting that you bring up Halliburton because I loved how he handled that like lack of playing time. He had that really hilarious, might have been a thread even, where he was like, when you get an A on the group project, you didn't do anything. Whereas Tatum was like kind of subtweeting Kerr and company. Yeah. But I mean, to underscore your point, Ty, I think it really matters as well. The other speculation, I had not heard Bam to the Wolves, although I would be enthusiastic about that. I'd be enthusiastic about any of those guys coming to the Wolves. But the one I'd heard was like KD to the Wolves, which seems the Wolves are way deep into the second apron. So that's, some really wild machinations would have to happen for that to become reality, which we don't have a lot of
first-round picks left at that point.
But yes, I think those relationships matter. And I think that like the other thing to consider is that rivalries deepen between the American players and the people they're going up against too. So especially as a Wolves fan, that was something I was clocking a lot in the final was like Ant was talking mad shit to Gobert, and you always in the Wolves fan realm kind of have in the back of your mind, do people really like this dude? Obviously we saw when Kyle Anderson punched him in the head that maybe they probably don't like him, and we saw how it flamed out in Utah. But they were jawing, and it seemed pretty serious. And then, of course, Gobert had that very Gobert-esque, what are you doing, man? Where he put his head under Joel Embiid's junk. But anyway, I think those dynamics really do matter. And I think that we will see some of those effects start to take place. Probably not this season, but look at next off season and remember the storylines coming out of this Olympics, because I do think that will have a pretty profound impact on where some players end up and maybe the construction of some new super teams or what have you. And I also think that, again, you come home, you inherit some of the beef from the teams that you played internationally. And I'll be curious in watching the Wolves locker room dynamic really closely for how Ant and Gobert are getting on.
Man, do you remember when Kobe ran through Paul Gasol? Remember that?
Yes, I remember that shit, because that's what I thought Ant was going to do
that's
to
what
Rudy.
All right, so next segment, producer Leigh, I would love if you cam up for this next segment, because we're talking about the women's, and every time we talk about the women's, we need you on camera so we don't look like a bunch of, before, exactly, before you got here, before we won't look like that. So let's see. Jesse, do you want to read this one?
Yes, I will read it. Okay, so this thread comes from Nakia Gray Esquire. And she is talking about the return to the WNBA action, but it's all under this pall of, I'll just read it out loud. She says, I just read all 18 pages of Derica Hamby's lawsuit against the Las Vegas Aces and the WNBA, and I'm disgusted by these allegations. And then she hashtags it WNBA threads.
Leigh, did you check out that
I
thread?
did. I checked
What do you
out
think
that
of that?
thread, and I read all 18 pages myself. I even had John read them, so I understood, because it's legalese, so making sure I didn't want to state anything that wasn't correct. But
Did he have a shirt on at the time before you? Did he have a
Start
shirt on?
talking
when you- I
lawyer.
just wanna make
probably
sure.
not. Probably not.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What type of love was y'all making? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, well, that's
Piece of rolls and
crazy.
legalese.
Please, like, stop. Okay, stop.
Blue belt. No, it's good. No, it's it's
Okay,
sorry, I'm
alright.
looking at the little summary of, she also put in that thread a little summary of what happened. But it's not great. It is basically, she got some incentives, like additional incentives to try to get her to extend. She extended. Within pretty quickly after that, she told them she was pregnant, and then after the finals, then she came out publicly with it, and they started making life hard for her. There's, if you want to read it, there's I do encourage people to read it, but it is a document. It doesn't mean that that's all actual proof behind that. You can assume it's from her lawyers. So but yeah, it is, to the actual topic of it, it's upsetting because it's a women's league, and women have children, and women want to have a career. It's a difficult thing that is still not even close to being where it should in like the regular workplace, but it's hard. It's tough to hear that coming from the WNBA. Like, they made so many strides just getting people, support and watching them, and it's yeah, it kind of sucks. I guess we'll see how it plays out, but it just brings up all the, all of these things of emotions of like, what limitations do women have to do to be successful? And it's like, you have to choose sometimes. And it feels like even the people that you think would be the most supportive of that are still putting you in that position.
Jesse, follow that up with something profound, man.
Well, I'll do my best. I would say a couple things come to mind. First and foremost, like, obviously we celebrated the Olympic men and the incredible gold medal. The women obviously had an equally triumphant moment in a squeaker nail biter of a game. And that was also an incredible feeling watching that happen at 9:30 in the morning. There's been a ton of threads on the attention that was paid to that specific game and the viewership that it garnered. So I think that brings me to kind of my second point, which is that the WNBA has undoubtedly had this season-long glow-up where really feels like they're getting the attention that they deserve, and that the players are coming to kind of this national prominence. They're getting more burn and time on general sports media. More people are buying the league pass. Arenas are selling out. All these things are amazing, and it's been kind of awesome to watch this ascendance happen. And then a lawsuit like this kind of rears its head, and it becomes something that you have to talk about, because leagues go through moments like this, and hopefully they take the right lessons from them. We spent some time in a previous episode talking about an article that was centered around how the WNBA had marketed itself and initially had presented this kind of have it all image of their players. So it's a really difficult and challenging thing to talk about parenthood in general in sports, because this is my third point, is Gobert himself, Mr. Duck under Embiid's legs. He got kind of lambasted when he missed the playoff game for the Wolves for the birth of his child. So even the men are kind of not immune to that kind of criticism, but obviously the women bear so much more of that literal labor, because it's not just I can miss one game and go and witness the birth of my child. It is an extended period of time where you cannot compete. So it's a really different dynamic that you don't have in any of the men's leagues. And what I hope the WNBA does is kind of look at that and say, this is an area where we need to distinguish a very idiosyncratic set of rules and policies for how we deal with this situation that's going to present itself. Of course, there are going to be players who want to be mothers, who want to be parents, and they should not be prohibited from contracts. They have to find some way to kind of make that work logistically. And of course, fans have to be understanding when something like that happens and a player is out for a whole season because they want to have a child. And so there was a lot of, I think, support for Gobert as well when he chose to miss that playoff game. And I think there are a lot of sports fans out there who are understanding and supportive of people prioritizing family. What I hope happens for the WNBA from a league standpoint and from a fan standpoint is that that dynamic is treated with respect, and the legislation and the policy that comes out of it is cognizant of all the different kind of factors at play. That's what I hope.
Lambasted.
Can I?
You saw me. I didn't want to cut him off.
I was getting ready to.
I didn't want to cut him off.
Smiling as soon as he said lambasted.
I didn't want to cut him off. I was letting him cook. I said, "Do your thing, man." But lambasted, that's a good one. Ty.
Oh, can I have
go,
a quick?
Yeah, Leigh.
When he was speaking, it reminded me of it's the equivalent of a player getting injured on your team and not getting to compete for half the season and not be in the playoffs, and you'd be like, you know what, we're just going to trade you because you are not helping us anyway. Essentially, what they basically.
That's what they did to Ben Simmons.
Yeah. True, but separate
Ben Simmons
dynamic.
Hasn't played.
I mean, it's true. It's interesting to bring that into the conversation.
You're right. Yeah.
Bring about half the value on the court, and then we'll
talk. Ty, come on, man. Come on, give us your takes, Ty.
I think it's funny. I think as someone who has realized recently that I'm so hyperly focused on the Dallas Mavericks, I think that something I appreciated for other teams, and I guess now even for the WNBA, is like, as a wrestling fan, this comes in even more handy because even in wrestling, someone who just gets written off TV for a while, and then they just continue the show without that person. And it's almost in your best interest to forget about those people until their return. Oh, and now we're all hyped. That's kind of how I was treating that situation with the WNBA. At least personally, whenever I was like tuning in, because everything is so new to me as a new WNBA fan. I'm tuning in to watch this team play. Oh, their best player is not actually playing right now. Oh, well, I'll just watch who they got. Like, I want to learn. And then they have a good game, and then maybe I watch that same team 2 weeks later and their best player's back, and it's like, here comes John Cena. Like, it's like fun to watch new players like pop out and like show what they can do. I've never viewed taking time away from your craft as an issue, and maybe that comes from being a deep-seated wrestling fan. Those people need the same thing, and they don't get lambasted for it, no matter the gender. It's actually used as a part of the hype, as a part of like what's fun. When they come back is like more what you
and that's such an interesting point, Ty, because I feel like a forward-thinking team could arrange something like that. Like, how fascinating would it be to have watched her go through her pregnancy journey and worked out something with the team? It was like, well, obviously you're not going to maybe collect your player's contract because you're not playing, but we can employ you as like, you can have a separate contract where via the social media and the marketing, you're still a mouthpiece for the team. You're still a representative for the team. And we get to explore your journey from the sidelines. Cause that's really fascinating to me as a fan, is like seeing you go through it, watch your teammates win a back-to-back championship.
And man, does it even have to be like
maybe it's not
like a separate contract thing? Like, because I'm just speaking from like wrestling experience. Wrestlers, when they get injured and they have to miss time,
sure,
if they miss a month, they just get a month added on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like a situation where it's we have to negotiate a special contract for you missing this time. And even maybe you don't even need to pay that time back. Maybe they pay you because you're so valuable. They pay you for the time that you are present, period. That would probably be the most 100%, ideal version,
and I think that's what
of that situation.
It sours me on the business side of this sport, because all I consider that is a lack of imagination. Like, you were not creative enough to figure out a solution. We
Yep.
just came up with one,
Yep.
just spitballing, in
But
5 minutes.
Jesse, I don't think it's
Yeah.
I don't think they aren't creative enough. I think, and it's just a hunch. Y'all know me. I get these downloads from my ancestors, and my ancestors like, say it, Jhamar, say it, Jhamar. So I say it. Leigh, I need your assistance on this one.
Sure.
Jesse, I don't think it's a creativity situation. I just think these owners are afraid to have the conversations in public that they do in private. And to that, Leigh, I'm going to ask you, and this is not me saying this. This is just my ancestors want to ask the universe a question. If a woman is pregnant and she has a baby, a la Skylar Diggins, does her body change so much that it can, where she's not the player that she once was? Like, is that a common thing? Because I watched Skylar Diggins' story and she said it took her a lot to get back on that court. And that's what she said. So is it a thing where those owners are looking at things like that and they're just saying, oh, that woman isn't as valuable as she once was because she has a baby, but they can't say that publicly, but they're probably saying that privately.
Probably. I think with regard to like recovery and getting back into whatever it is you were doing, that varies from person to person. There are, and it is a pretty known thing. Like if you're active, like if you're a runner, if you're a basketball player, like up until a certain time, you can continue. If it's stuff your body is used to, like you can continue that, and usually people can get back into it pretty quickly. There's other varying factors, but that come along with pregnancy and giving birth that may, extend that process, or but for the most part, I think it's completely. Most people can go back to what they're doing if they want to. And second to that is, you kind of are touching on it, but specifically even to her case, is she worked out through her whole off season and she was back, and she said she'd be back, like give birth before the season started. And we all know she played for the Sparks, like she's been having a great season, and just all to show, like, even it didn't even actually hinder her. She won the champion, she won with them, and then she had off season, and then she was able to play a full season. So even if that was being quote unquote talked about behind closed doors, it's like, why? Like, they didn't even give her a chance.
Well, and I want to build on that, Leigh, and kind of challenge what you said as well, Jhamar, because I think that, like, I agree with you that I think it's things that they feel they can't say out loud. And my challenge to them would, again, I do believe it's a lack of creativity, because even if that was the case, even if there was a ramp up time to go from, post delivery to being able to play again, first of all, there's like a correlation. We watched James Harden waste away entire half seasons, because he ate too many wings at Magic City in the offseason or whatever. But if that's the case, again, I think that the valuation of the player as a representative of the team can still happen. It just doesn't necessarily have to happen on the court. And think again, just riffing off of the idea we just came up with, where they are now part of the social media and the marketing. It's powerful to have that story happening for your team and to be addressing that. It's like in PR, there's a saying that any crisis is an opportunity, and that's based on like I think an old Chinese proverb or something. But if you think about it creatively, you can have that be a social media source of content, and then you can get sponsors like, I don't know, Earth's Best Diapers. You can get sponsors like The Honest Company. You can get sponsors like Gerber. You can get sponsors that are aimed at parenthood and motherhood to sponsor that content and be a contract, a revenue stream for your team that is still using your relationship with the player. And where I think that differs from what we talked about in the previous episode, where they present the players as, you can have it all. I think it comes from the authenticity, right? If the player is on board with this and says, I know I can't play, and I feel guilty because I'm not helping my teammates out there on the court win that championship, or maybe they don't feel guilty, whatever it is, let them tell that story in their own words because they can still represent the team. And I think there's value in that.
Yeah, with one player, there's probably value in that, but I guarantee, and this is just a hunch, I guarantee they are trying to. I don't know if suppress is probably not a right word, but they're trying to stop these women from having kids. I can guarantee that because it messes up with their bottom line. It messes up with those owners winning championships and bragging about it to their friends. I guarantee they're having these conversations where they're trying to discourage these women from having kids. And if you lift one up, you kind of set the precedent. So that's why I don't think they're doing it. But they won't tell you these things in the public, but I guarantee they're having these conversations. And I guarantee this probably has been a thing in women basketball for a long time now. I don't think this is anything new.
Probably.
I mean, it's been a thing for women in all professions. Like you get pregnant and you don't get your deck, or like there's lots of things that
Yep.
having time off and leaving. Yeah, but sorry.
No. Finish because you're right.
Oh no, just that. Yeah, it's an ongoing, especially in the United States. Like, how much time do you even get off? You have to use extended. You have to like make sure you get long-term disability if you want to have more than your very minimum leave that your company gives you. So then you're having to pay extra to get this time if you plan to have a kid, and it's a mess. It's hard, and there's nothing positive about if you have a job and you leave to have a child. Like there's no positive from I would say for most in the workplace.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine that's what I'm saying. So it's like they feel that energy at people with jobs that's not basketball. Imagine basketball, everything is physical, and you need to be out there. It's like, come on, man. These dudes are greedy. These dudes are messed up, and I'm not surprised that this happened. But
sorry.
Yeah, no, finish, Leigh.
To Jesse's point, though, it actually reminds me of Cuban and the Mavs when Cuban took over. If so, they could even do something 1% of what Jesse's saying, it makes people want to play for you, and that is important. And like that was a big deal, like I said, and I won't go into that, but he turned things where make NBA players want to live and play for Dallas. And if a team did that, like, can you imagine like how many women would be like, I want to play for that team? So
a owner that says, yeah, y'all could get pregnant if y'all come play for us. Y'all really think they?
But it's
no, I'm so serious.
It's how you change the paradigm. Yeah,
I'm so.
You gotta be careful. It's that the owner
normalize.
Saying,
yeah, just normalizing it though. Like
exactly. If you normalize it, you shift the paradigm and you present alternatives. And I think, like, I guess what this really is hitting at is like a philosophical discussion between economics, which the billionaires like and like to pretend is the operating model behind how people spend their money, and behavioral economics, which is a field that is actually invested in studying how people spend their money and why they spend their money. And I think that's what, like, the behavioral piece of it makes billionaires really nervous because you can't predict it. It's the same reason why Hollywood is all beholden to IP right now, because they can point to a formula that says, if we tap back into this IP, we're going to get X amount of dollars. And then every once in a while, you'll have like everything everywhere all at once come around and they'll be like, oh God, what do we even do with this? They don't know how to process something new that showed the appetite was there, you know?
So do you make a schedule like, all right, y'all could get pregnant, but like take like do it in intervals? Because what if 5 people get pregnant at the same time? What happens then, Leigh? Let me hear the solution.
I think that it's kind of like in the NBA. Isn't there something where if you have a certain amount of injured people, like you have those two-way players? I don't know.
Oh, now the pregnant women are injured, Leigh? Come on. It's like, no, I'm joking. Listen. No, continue.
No, like that's a fair question though. Like I don't think it's a bad question, but I mean, yeah, there would have to be a solve for that, and I also imagine that like the likelihood that wouldn't happen, but it's possible. You're right.
I know. I'm just being silly. here to provide some entertainment.
I'd rather they try to get through even an elegant solution rather than pretending it doesn't exist. So even if there is a contingency that seems far-fetched, like
oh my God.
everybody gets pregnant at the same time, at least like try to have a solution. It's better than just pretending that women aren't going to get pregnant, or worse, doing some handmaid's tale shit and like actually restricting them from having kids.
And I have a question for everybody. Let's just talk about basic WNBA predictions for the rest of the year. We're gonna go around to everybody. Ty, let's start with you. Who you have? Who you gonna say? The Dallas Wings.
Well, first of all, that's offensive. And second of all, yes, the Dallas Wings are going to make the playoffs. They're 4.5 games out. We get Satu Sabali back. We got Odyssey Sims scoring 17 a game. We got Enrique. I genuinely don't see a way that we don't make the playoffs. Now, I can't promise you what's going to happen after that, but Sabali played an amazing Olympics. She's going to be able to come in, hopefully, and bring some of that same swagger she brought to the Germany team to the Dallas Wings. And also, I just wanted to point out that the Dallas Wings were evaluated as the most valuable
Oh wow.
WNBA franchise out of all of them.
I'm
That was just-
not gonna say it. I can't say this one. No.
No, say it.
It was something
Say it,
about
Jhamar.
pregnancy
Say it.
and all this
Jhamar,
other
hey,
stuff,
hey.
but no.
Oh, no, don't say that.
No,
Don't say that.
it's okay.
I thought
It's
you was gonna
okay.
make fun of Dallas.
It's
Don't do
okay.
that.
Jesse. Yeah, we moved on. My bad. Jesse, give me some WNBA predictions for the rest of the season.
Well, I'm going to double down on Ty's homerism. I think the Lynx are going to kind of reignite their dynasty, and I think they're going to surprise people. I think they're going to unseat the Aces as the Western champions, and then I think they're gonna win the chip, man. I'm all in for the Minnesota Lynx, baby.
Let's go. That's the kind of homerism I love.
Homerism.
Right there.
What's that, guys?
Yeah, hell
Predict
yeah.
the
Well, and
title.
listen, if they
Let's do
lose,
it.
I'll
Let's
just,
go.
like I said, I'll whip up a Jello salad or something.
Okay. Before Leigh goes, I have the Liberty doing Liberty things, man. And listen. If the Lynx end up beating the Aces in the playoffs and you have to play the Liberty, that's my dream scenario. I'm not trying to see the Aces and the Liberty anymore because the Aces just be kicking the Liberty ass, man. So if the Lynx beat the Aces, and it's a Lynx and Liberty finals, that's gonna be my dream. And the Liberty got this. So
We got to
that's my
go to a
prediction.
game,
No,
Jhamar.
we
If that's the
definitely have
case,
to go.
we got to go to a game.
Yeah.
Nah,
No,
y'all better
we gonna go. We
fucking
gonna check it
video
out.
it.
Leigh,
I'm just gonna speak for who I want, but I mean I do. I love Enrique. She's just so fun to watch, and we've been waiting all season for Sabali to not be hurt, and it was really. I did watch her play for Germany, and then, but I low key love the Liberty too. I love watching Sabrina play, and she is, and they have
She's a
one of the
badass.
best mascots, like Ellie the elephant. She like gets out in
Yeah.
the middle and like
she's
dances.
dancing.
She got
Yeah.
like a ponytail.
Yeah.
So, and it means more Ellie content the further they go. So,
That's true.
That's
See,
true.
there's the other option
That's
is a
fair
pregnant
content.
player
I
can
think we
become
all-
the team mascot.
God,
Joking.
stop.
That would be awful.
Yeah, Jazz. Anyway, we have one more segment to go. Leigh. Anyways,
Anyways.
one more segment to go. Leigh, thank you so much. The last thread number 3. Jesse, what's up, man? Bring us in with that lovely voice of yours one more time.
Thank you, sir. Well, Jhamar, this was your submission, so I'm really excited for this
sir.
conversation.
Yes,
But this
sir.
is from someone with the handle The Only Logical Thinker, and they tweeted, So, ... Nobody in the media is going to call out the NBA for continuing to blackball Ice Cube and the Big Three.
The reason why I wanted to bring this thread up is because my boy Ice Cube needs some love, man. Ice Cube needs
Okay.
some love.
All
Apparently,
right.
he's
Okay, Jhamar, but I got a question. Is blackball the right word
No, good
for
question.
what they're doing
Listen,
to the
Tyler.
Big Three?
Tyler. Listen, Todd Dodger. Listen, I'm listening to Ice Cube's words, and apparently he's just saying that, yo, we are not competition. We are complementary. We're not your competition. And what he's saying
Right.
Adam Silver is doing, he's saying he's going to these networks and saying, don't mess with the big three, because if you mess with them, we're not going to do no business with you. He says he's going to the sponsors like, yo, don't mess with the big three. Because if you mess with them, we not going to do business with you. He's going to investors like, yo, if you ever think about having an NBA team, LeBron James, if you ever think about having an NBA team and you invest in that little big three, don't you ever think about it coming over here and doing business with the big boys. And apparently, the DOJ is looking into these allegations, man. So this country has a history of holding a black man down. And I believe him. I believe I'm Team Ice Cube on this one. And I thought about this, Dodger.
I think
Shit. Like, is the NBA right in doing this because it's entertainment basketball? It's like, yo, bro, chill. Like you are trying to take away our audience. But then I'm like, yo, man, it's a free market, and the DOJ should protect entrepreneurs like Ice Cube. All right, Todd Dollar, it's your go.
all right, man. This is another thing coming from the views of a wrestling fan. The WWE made a lot of money and created a damn near monopoly doing exactly what you're talking about. Did they do a bad thing? Probably. Did it work? Absolutely. Why would these people not try to mimic that? And also, saying that the Big Three is complementary to the NBA is to add on what they didn't ask for. The NBA never asked for the Big Three to exist. And so to say that you're complementary to what they're providing and that they should be paving a way for you as opposed to caring about their own interests is there's a certain level of pretentiousness
In the
to that
2000s,
that I
when
just
people
don't
in the
fuck
South was putting on big ass rims on their car, and they was doing all that stuff, were those rims complementary to the car? Yes or no? Yes or no, Ty? Yes or no? Were the
I'm not
rims
sure where you're going with this, Jay.
exactly? You think
But yeah, they
Cadillac was
were.
like, oh
They
yeah,
were.
put them big ass rims on my car? No. Sometimes in capitalism, bro, you do things
No.
that the market needs, and it works like magic. That's what happened here.
But
A
also,
black
who is
man,
making the car? Cadillac. If they want to say no, then they can say no. You can do whatever you want after that. But they're
Or
going to
they
say,
just
we're not
design
going to put
them
those rims on that car
in a way that they, some bullshit.
to where you can't fit the rims on the
listen,
car. Like, there's ways
the
around
indie.
this. There's not always. Jamar, this
What
that
shit?
shit that
Tell
Malcolm
me.
X was talking about.
Oh,
Right here.
okay. I was like, yo, school me. What is Malcolm X? Listen, Ty, it is kind of because most of those players are ex NBA players that still need money, apparently. So it's like, hey,
Right.
here's a place for you to play. I don't see how it's
Right.
not complimentary.
Why can it not
That's
just
what
be
he's
its own
trying to do,
ecosystem?
but he's saying that they're holding them back. That's all I'm
Okay.
trying to say.
I mean,
I'm trying to say,
I don't know. I saw WCW succeed. I saw AEW succeed. They're just and also this is just a conspiracy. Sometimes channels just don't want two basketball things on their channel. And if you are playing NBA basketball on the important nights at the important times, why would you play
Hey
less
Ty,
important
watch this.
basketball
Watch
at
this
less
white
important
man right here
times?
defend Ice Cube and a black man. Let's go, Jesse. What you got to say? What you got
Wow.
to say,
Now I
Jesse?
feel put on the
Come
spot
on,
because my
Jesse.
first thing that I'm going to say, Jhamar, is that Ice Cube is such a complicated figure for me because he is one of my favorite artists of all time. Like, not just in hip hop, like America's Most Wanted, Death Certificate, two like essential albums that like molded my worldview. Like I remember like playing Ice Cube in a freshman class, a film class. Like I played Burn Hollywood Burn with Ice Cube's on that Public Enemy song. Like I fucking love Ice Cube, and I love the
Fire,
way that Ice
fire.
Cube so smartly, especially in those albums, like mimicked the way that television as a medium was utilized against especially black youth in the inner city. And that's the way that Reagan would leverage the media against people like Ice Cube, folks like Ice Cube, people in the communities that Ice Cube had grown up either in or adjacent to. So I don't think it's all a conspiracy. That having been said, the complicating factor here is Ice Cube's credibility. And it's hard to weigh what Ice Cube says now, knowing that my hero, Ice Cube the artist, in No Vaseline, said not just once, but like 18 times in a row, I'll never have dinner with the president. I'll never have dinner with the president. And then he has a power lunch with Donald Trump. So it's like there is this complicating factor of like, I don't know ideologically what Ice Cube is representing anymore. I believe you, Jhamar, and I do think there is something to the degree, and I think we're all in agreement that like the NBA, of course, is trying to suppress this product because they consider it a rival product. And Ty, I think you illustrated really nicely all the reasons why. I think what is interesting to like think about then is like, well, when Ice Cube dreamt up the big three, did he intend it as a compliment to the league? And if he did, then that particular critique of the league holds more weight. Like if he had stylized the the big three rather as like something akin to the senior PGA tour, where it's like, where do players go when they can't compete at the highest levels of 5-on-5 anymore, but they still got a great handle and they still can make really acrobatic shots? Then that's a different thing. Then I can see, okay, this product makes sense within the ecosystem of the NBA. And in fact, I love it because there's a way for players to age gracefully and still make some money that doesn't involve necessarily going and playing for China. But if he intended it to be a rival product, I don't love that he's squished under the boot of monopoly that is capitalism, but I understand that's probably legally pretty much an open and shut case.
Okay, I have two final thoughts, and then we're going to close out this episode. The first one is he apparently says he offered equity to Adam Silver and the NBA when he launched it the first time, and they declined. So that's that. Number two, if Jay, yeah, go ahead, really quick.
Can I speak on that point? He offered it.
Yeah,
He offered them equity when he first started it, prior to us knowing that the league was actually going to be successful and have players that came from the league straight to the big three to execute. He offered it when it was essentially still a concept.
I get it,
The
but
NBA
I'm
was
answering
never gonna
Jesse's
say yes to
question
that.
in this idea that he did he have it in his mind to partner with the NBA from the beginning, and apparently he did by offering them equity. And the second thing I want to ask both of you, if JJ Redick was the CEO of the Big Three, do you think the same thing will be happening? Look at Ty. He froze now. Ty froze now. Speak, Ty. Yeah, you go first. Yeah, you go
Me?
first.
You want me to answer?
You think so?
Yes, the same thing would be happening. Billions are more important than your race. I'm sorry. If a channel can only have one basketball product, which I'm sure most of the channels will say they can only do that. And there's any competition out there, I don't care what the race of the owner is, there's someone who's actually vying for TV time. We're gonna crush them out. We're gonna go to as many places as possible. We're gonna get put on in as many places as possible, and the places that don't accept us are gonna be the places that lose out on.
Now, to counter that,
we're gonna do.
I do think what you bring up, Jhamar, is important. That I could foresee a scenario where JJ Redick might be able to make this thing happen, stylized as a senior NBA extension because of his access. So I do think there becomes like a question of privilege, right? Like JJ has these connections to the league. He became a coach by dint of being a podcaster. So of course he has like access and privilege. I don't think anybody can dispute that Ice Cube in basketball circles simply does not, even though he could fuck around and have a triple-double, on a good day. Shout out Ice Cube. But Jhamar, I do think that you bring up a good point that like I could foresee it at least being taken more seriously from an Adam Silver type, because I agree with you, Ty, that billionaire logic is going to prioritize wealth and prioritize like the continuation of that wealth over any signifier or identity kind of label or what have you. But I do think if you have the right access and the right privilege, you're more likely to get an idea like that greenlit, or at the very least kind of like the league have a hand in developing it. But all that said, I don't think that JJ Redick would get a blank check from the league. I think that he might be able to use his privilege and his access to say, hey, I have this idea for big 3-on-3 NBA senior type basketball. And they would probably drag it down in like 10 years of development until they figured out how they could extract the most money from that. That I could see.
You're definitely on the back end of a lot more projects like that than I am, so that makes a lot of sense.
All right, Leigh.
Adam, they're on to us. Yeah.
Producer Leigh. Producer Leigh, do you want to cam up?
Tell him, bring your ass. Say it again.
Yeah, sorry.
Producer Leigh, before we go into our final Would You Rather segment, do you have anything to say on Mr. Cube and his allegations towards the NBA?
I don't actually, because I don't know enough about it to comment on it. I from contextually, I some good points, but I probably am more along Ty's thing, but with Ty's view about just billionaire logic, capitalism stuff, but I can't really speak to it too much because I'm not fully I don't know all the details.
I respect that honest response. That's a very mature response. I like that.
I try not to talk on things I'm not sure of.
I can learn from that. I should not be talking about pregnant women, right? I should not be talking about that. But all right, we have one last segment. Y'all know we usually close the show with Would You Rather. And we're going to start with Tom first. He's been smiling all episode, man. He's in a happy mood over there. Tom, would you rather write a best-selling book or win an Olympic gold medal? And tell us your logic behind that, my brother.
I think I'd rather write a best-selling book. I think it goes down to, for me personally, that I love well-adapted things in the movies. And it would give me a chance to create a world that we could then create a movie around.
Okay, what's the book around then, bro? Come on, tell us.
I think that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah, give us some details.
What's the book around? It's going to be like Doom, but instead of just thumping on the sand, they're going to do the grinding beat.
Adam, I've got a pitch for you. You have to hear this.
Doom. Wait. Leigh, do you know what Doom is?
The video game?
Doom.
Doom the movie.
Doom?
Isn't Doom,
Like the
is
movie.
Doom a video
Doom?
game? No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
That's
Yeah,
what
I know.
I said Dune.
Doom is a video game.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I know what Dune is. I haven't seen it though.
Hell no, no, what
Jamar,
Dune
you don't know
is.
what
There's two
Dune
of
is?
them.
You
He
never
Listen,
saw
doesn't know
Doom?
the thumper. But
I don't know
Jamar,
what
you don't
Ty.
know what nothing
90% of
is.
things y'all say is, man.
Ty, I will go
Lambastic,
in. I'm going halvesies with you on a thumper that
Lambastic.
plays the grind and beat, man.
lambastic.
That's fucking amazing. Yes.
I thought
Fire, right?
lambastic. Oh, that's
Like a
what
worm
they
comes
doing,
up
Dune?
dancing and shit. Like,
They dancing? Oh, okay.
no, they
Okay.
don't
Oh,
be
okay.
dancing.
I see.
That's
I
what we're
see. I
trying to
see.
add.
Jesse, Olympic gold medal or best-selling book?
Yeah, I gotta go bestseller as well. I mean, just from a pragmatic standpoint, I think exactly what you pointed out, Ty. Like that, you can make a career out of that. Like it's only the Michael Phelpses and the Katie Ledeckis and the Simone Bileses who get to compete in multiple Olympics. Most of the time, if you're good enough to win the gold medal, you're going to one or two Olympics if the aging times out right. You write a bestseller, like everything changes for you, and you've got like speaking engagements, or as you pointed out, Ty, potential IP opportunities, and you might even get to meet the Neptunes and pitch them on your grind and beat thumper idea. So yeah, I'm also team bestseller. Ty was kind enough to tell us what he would write. I think I would probably write I'd write a sad boy novel, like something where they're like, oh, he's very distinguished and his emotions are so genuine and raw. And I'd be swirling around a glass of, Bordeaux. Yeah, I'd be the new F. Scott Fitzgerald, baby.
Sad boy is very in right now. Like sad boy music is very in right now.
Yeah. So it writes itself, basically.
Yeah,
Nice, Jesse. That's beautiful. I like that for you, Jesse. For me, I think it depends on the context. If I'm in America, F that gold medal. I don't want that gold medal. I don't want that. I don't want no American gold medal. But if I'm in like a different country, like I'm not saying no countries because I'm not trying to get canceled, but if I'm in a different country and I can go back with that gold medal and I can be the man or that person, hey man, I want one of those gold medals where I go back and then the king or the dictator is like, yo, you moving my house now.
What?
You moving
The
my house
dictator?
now. And then I'm gonna be like, yeah, that's the gold medal I want. I don't want no best-selling book. There are dictators out there though. There are dictators.
The women's 100. Was it St. Lucia?
St. Lucia.
St. Lucia. You saw the video where they were going absolutely like ham.
They were going
They were all
crazy.
outside watching it on this huge screen, and they were like dancing to basically. I think they had one of the thumpers with the grind and beat going because they were.
I want one of those gold medals, Tom. I don't want no American gold medal. You feel me, Leigh?
Okay, I feel you. But you're right now. Which one are you picking?
Me right now.
Mm-hmm.
It depends, man, where that bestseller can get me. I don't know. Because everybody get a bestseller these days. I think they pay for it, man. I feel like it doesn't mean the same thing that it mean in the 90s and 2000s.
You can hack it. Yeah, you can do bullshit hack. Okay, so we got to choose what we were writing. So Jhamar, if you choose gold medal, you can choose your country, which you don't have to tell us, but you can choose your sport too. So I feel like maybe if you wanted to parlay your success, it's not that you have to get a gold medal in curling,
or maybe you give us a couple country sports.
Say that again. You trying to stump me?
You give us a couple country sport combos. So it'd be like, I would play soccer for Spain.
I would play. You ready for this? I would do wrestling for North Korea, right? Listen. Listen.
What's going on?
Listen, really quick, right? Only so I can move into the house, right? The house of the dictator, and then one day I see him and I'll put him in a chokehold and I'm like, listen, free everybody. And then I free the people, bro. So There it
I don't think
is.
that's how that works.
No, actually, as I understand it, North Korea's code of conduct is if you pin the dictator, you get to
good.
become the dictator.
Or
how
if
it
you
works.
win a gold medal, you get to move in with who's it?
Yeah,
King
Like a
Jong-un.
title belt.
Kim Jong Un is just the
Yeah.
best wrestler we didn't even know.
Exactly.
But everybody
You gotta
runs
catch
up on him every day, and he's like, "Fuck you!"
Yeah,
the goddamn
exactly. Yeah, Jess. Yeah, Jess. Exactly.
People's elbow.
Lee, come on.
We all know what my answer is gonna be. It's gonna definitely be an Olympic gold medal.
What
Gold
country and sport though?
Well, okay. Actually,
Keep in mind, North Korea is taken, or at least it's under the jurisdiction of Jhamar now.
noted. I mean, it's definitely got to be America. Like, come on. But because the medals aren't. The medals
Solid gold.
they don't belong to the country beforehand. They're all just gold medals. They get distributed to the people who win that happen to be from countries. So it's not an American gold medal, just a gold medal that was given to an American. But no, I actually, John and I talked about this the other day, and I can't even remember now what Olympic sport I said I'd want to play. But I think something like really kind of obscure, like the table tennis, because like just like smoking someone in table tennis and then being like, showing up someone's garage, they got like the beer pong set up and being like, hey, like you want to play some ping pong? Like, yeah, all right, and just being like, kind of like half-assing it and just being like the like they do like the serving. I watched the finals. It was nuts. It's crazy. And then like being like, oh, by the way, this is the gold medal from me when I won in the Olympics.
Lee,
And that's pretty lucrative. You can just hustle people out of their garages.
Lee,
Didn't mean to
Lee.
just
If I
ruin your
meet you
day.
and they say this
but-
is Lee and she has a gold medal, I'm gonna be like this. Oh my god! And then they're gonna be like, it's in table tennis. I'm gonna be like,
You're gonna be like, that is dope as.
But okay, so Lee, you're gonna spend the rest of your days just hustling people at ping pong bars and garages.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
It does actually sound kind of badass. And we all know what
Sounds like a good
JJ's
life.
answer, I assume, was beach volleyball, right? So he didn't have to wear a shirt.
I'd watch that movie. I would watch that.
They said you're a beach volleyball.
He's-
It's like,
listen, guys, I think we have fun and we have done another episode of Unthreaded, episode 3. We're 3 episodes in now. And I think this was another good one, man. I have fun, talking about basketball. The next
It was
episode,
fun.
I think you guys want to talk about some food, but you'll see. You'll see what we come up with. Ty. Or before we go to Ty for the closing words, does anyone
What up?
else have anything to say? Yeah, Lee has something
I do.
else to say.
I forgot to
Go
do
ahead.
this because y'all caught me so off guard with the question.
Mhm.
I want to say I picked this up from, and I don't know if I'm saying this right, Yarger Gal on Threads. She did like an actual poll, and it was 75% for the book. So I was in the minority on that one.
Yeah, nobody liked that gold medal, man. Nobody like.
How is everybody not on
Yeah,
Lee's
gold
case for
medal.
mangling that screen name?
Say it like
Yet I'm getting, lambasted. Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, they don't know.
I don't even know who it is.
Wait, Lee, say that screen name again one more time.
Yarger, it's her last name. It's like Yarger Gal. So Yarger Gal.
Come on, Lee.
His face.
Everyone knows it's Yazir Yao.
Ty,
Jaegerbomb. What?
Jaeger bomb. Oh, come on, no, I'm not supporting that.
Mm.
I'm not supporting
Sounds
that.
good to
Nope,
me.
nope, nope.